Pushing Daisy, written by TheBuriedTruck and told by Wingstriker 3801. The hot sun had bit the rails on Thomas's branch line. While repairs were being carried out, Daisy took passengers along Edward's line. She relished in the change of scenery and the attention. One afternoon, she arrived at Edward's station. Henry stood at the platform, his coaches packed with passengers. "You know it's dreadfully hot," flounced Daisy. "But you don't see me lazing about, do you?"
"I'm not lazing," Henry glared. "I'm waiting for Edward. I need help up the hill."
"A stalwart engine like you floundering on a teensy hill? Fancy that?" She chuckled.
"It's far from teensy," retorted Henry. "My train is heavy. Trying it alone would just make me late."
"Such a pity," replied Daisy. "Perhaps you should leave the passengers to me. I never struggle on hills." And with that, Daisy purred triumphantly away.
"You would if you ever pulled anything,"
Henry muttered. Daisy purred happily as she travelled down the branch line. People waved as she passed, and she rolled easily over every incline in the track. "Nothing to it," she smirked. "Silly old Henry. I do so pity him." The next morning, Bill and Ben were shunting trucks for Boko in the harbour yard. Daisy watched them working from the shed. "Where's that fuel tanker? Where is that fuel tanker?" asked Bill. "On the siding," answered Ben. "You said you wanted it out of the way." "Not out of the way, on this train." "Well, if you're so important, you go fetch it." "Oh, good grief," moaned Daisy. "Will you two compose yourselves? My passengers shan't be delayed with your incompetence. So rectify this at once." Bill and Ben weren't sure what rectify meant, but it made them forget their quarrels with each other. Their disdain turned to Daisy instead. "Lazy diesel," muttered Bill, who begrudgingly brought the tanker to the platform. Now, if he hadn't been so cross, Bill might have noticed a dripping sound as the tanker was coupled up to the train. Instead, he sculled off to finish his work. Boko soon left with the trucks, none the wiser. It wasn't long before Daisy purred into the platform. She waited as the passengers climbed aboard. When the guard's whistle blew, she tried to move, but she couldn't. She slipped and slid on the oily rails. "Ooh!" she shuddered as her wheels spun. Her driver inspected the track. "A bit of sand and we'll be as dry as rain." "Absolutely not," fumed Daisy. "You think my wheels would be any filthier than they are? My fitter always says, never run with filthy wheels. Terrible for my swerves, you see." The driver, station master and passengers all tried to reason with her, but it was no good. Daisy just refused to move. Just then, Edward came along with his trucks of china clay. After discussing the trouble, the driver sanded the rails and Edward buffered up behind. Daisy was puzzled, but not for long. At Edward's station, Henry was waiting impatiently for Daisy's passengers.
"Oh, where is that silly diesel?"
he wondered. He didn't have to wait long. He stared in amazement as Edward pushed Daisy into the platform.
Well,
Henry chortled.
"Fancy trying a baker for a change, did you?"
Daisy blushed silently.
"But the thing is," continued Henry, "they're meant for inclines, not level ground. You poor thing, you must be struggling. But perhaps you should leave the passengers to me.
Henry puffed away laughing. Daisy stayed quiet. She hoped this would be her first and last time having anything to do with bankers.